Hi everyone, I'm Shruti Seth. I'm an actor by profession and I've been acting now for 20 years. I've done a fair amount of work on television, on film, on OTT platforms and as well as in theatre. Well, the funny thing is that I actually became an actor purely by accident. All I would like to say or believe is that it was a happy one. But I was very shy when I was in school and college. I never participated in any sort of dramatic society or unless I was forced to do a school play, I wasn't ever the kid in class who volunteered to be up on a stage. So I have to say that I was very, very surprised when I found myself sort of moving in this direction, and that's the beauty of being an actor, is that there's no, you don't complete your education, you kind of learn on the job. But of course, there are still a couple of things that one needs to bear in mind if you're looking at being a performer. So I'll just list them out, and I hope that you find them helpful whenever you decide to don the acting hat. Number one, I think there are various different schools of acting, and everyone kind of applies their own method, and there isn't any particular way that you can be an actor. I'm largely a director's actor, so I will always collaborate with my director or with the creators of the show to learn as much as I can about the thought behind my character. So that's one thing that you definitely want to do. You want to get as much information as you can from whoever it is that is guiding you, to tell you as much as they can in as much detail about your part, because one doesn't even realize how quickly that gets into your subconscious and really helps with your performance. Number two is that if there are any particular mannerisms that this character has, or if they belong to a certain region or from a certain milieu or a certain socio-economic background, try and gain as much knowledge as you can about that world, so that then you can sort of sprinkle in finer details into your character. It could be the twitch of an eye, it could be someone who rubs their nose, it could be someone who scratches their head a lot, someone who has a limp, someone who constantly clasps their hands or moves their hands a lot when they speak. So it's all these little things that add a lot of fine detailing to your character. Number three would be, again, this is entirely how I work. I largely go with what I'm feeling there and then. So of course one lives with the character, and yes, you must know your script backwards, so you tend to perform it while you're learning it, but eventually I always perform like I'm in the moment. So I'm not from the school where people don their characters and then live with them and then become them in their daily lives and then never break that character till they are finished playing that part. So there are a lot of actors who do that, and I think it's very commendable to be able to do it. I sadly have never had the option to do that, and most of my characters have not been that, they've not really been based on a particular real life character, because that's when you have to become like that person. Though I know that, the character of Jack Sparrow that was in Pirates of the Caribbean, now I know that character, Johnny Depp, almost became him even in his real life. So even though there wasn't anybody, there wasn't a real life Jack Sparrow, I think all the characteristics that were brought into that part, Johnny Depp, this is what I've read, basically started imbibing them in his daily life during the course of the shoot of the film. I, as an actor, tend to evolve during the process of the performance, and I think another very big part of performance for me is my co-stars. So at least in scenes where I'm with another actor, I feed a lot of their energy, of their performance, and that has really always made my job more enjoyable for me. Of course, there are solo scenes where, you're acting alone. It could be a phone card. It could just be, a silent scene where you're just emoting. So in those particular scenes when I'm all alone, most definitely I tend to work keeping how I'm feeling in the moment. And to be honest, that's pretty much how kids act, actually, if you think about it, because you can't really make children be anything that they're not. Most of the kids, when they perform, the reason why they steal the show in 99% of the times, even with the best actors in frame with them, is because they literally live in the moment. One of the most important things that I forgot to mention that you must absolutely do is know your script backwards. If you are playing a part, you have to know your lines, because you will only be able to improvise and only enhance that performance if you know your lines really well. There are actors who do have trouble sort of retaining information and their lines, and there's various ways to get around that as well. So not that I'm saying that that's going to hamper your performance or stop you from being an actor, but I'm saying that if you are hoping to be an actor and it's something that's interesting you, then this is one part of your job that you must try and excel at. If you can learn your lines, you will just see how your performances just keep getting better and better. Another thing that I feel is, there are different kinds of performances that happen depending on what kind of medium you're choosing. Not that it changes very drastically, but yes, there is a marked difference between performing for a camera vis-a-vis performing for a live audience. So I think what ends up happening if you're on a stage is that you will feed off a lot from the audience's energy. But that's the trick. Now, if you're performing and you're hoping for an instant reaction to a particular line, to a particular mood, to a particular movement, and you don't get it, you have to be confident enough to not let it throw you. You have to perform like there's nobody, that the seats are empty. So even though for an actor, when you're on a stage, the audience is what really, really makes that particular experience so unique, is because you literally can feel people feeling your emotions. So if you're crying, you'll automatically sort of, find it palpable from the audience that they're feeling the same emotion that you are trying to communicate to them. So it does get difficult, but it's something that you must master, because many a times I've been on a stage and, I've done a comedy and you've kind of rehearsed it over and over again. And in your mind, you're like, okay, this line is going to get a laugh and this is when people are going to roll over, and it doesn't happen. On a stray day, it doesn't happen. But you're not supposed to let that impact your performance. So always imagine that there's nobody there. Again, that is the same thing that one would apply. It took me many years to get used to seeing a crew standing around me. So I think one of the first things that an actor needs to do is you have to start losing your inhibitions. So few tricks for you to do that is rehearse a lot by yourself. Everyone has cameras at home and phones at home, and you can use the device to really show you what you're doing. So try and be as ludicrous as you can in front of the camera. Just try and let loose. When you're crying, really try and cry. If you're laughing, laugh like you're actually having a good laugh. Keep observing your performance on the camera. There are a lot of exercises that one can learn on the internet, which really help you with opening up your muscles in your face, because at the end of the day, this is pretty much what emotes. So you want to really try and do as many exercises as you can to lose your inhibitions, because if you remain conscious as an actor or as a performer, it'll always be a roadblock in your performance. And I suffered it a lot for many years. It took me a fair amount of time in front of the camera to start just seeing the lens, and everything else would fade. And that's what it should become. I'm sure that if you have a dramatic society, your teachers there itself will put you through a rigorous amount of exercises that help you expand and lose your inhibitions as a performer. So definitely do those. And here's the thing, you want to keep doing things that scare you, because that's one of the best ways to lose your inhibition. Do a thing that frightens you, and then you realize that it really wasn't that frightening after all. Just giving you guys a quick recap. If you're looking at becoming an actor, try and work at losing your inhibitions. Make sure you become one with your script. Know your lines, that if I wake you up at 3 in the morning and give you a cue, you should tell me the lines at that moment, half out of your sleep. That's how good you should be with your lines. Number 3, choose what comes to you naturally. Are you an actor who likes to perform in the moment? Are you someone who likes to live with his character or her character? Someone who likes to be that character through the day till they become a part of you? That's another excellent school of acting. So it's up to you, whatever comes to you more naturally. Number 4, acquaint yourself with whatever medium you're working with. So if you're on a stage, learn to stand on a stage as much as you can till it stops terrifying you. If it's something you want to do in front of a camera, spend a lot of time in front of the camera till it becomes an invisible device. Lastly, always be a very collaborative performer. Don't be rigid. Try and evolve while you're on the job. Collaborate with your actors, collaborate with the script writer, collaborate with the director. And you will come across people who are very strict about the writing. So, a director may just tell you, no, I'm sorry, you can't go off script. The director is the captain of the ship. So unless you can convince your director that what you have in mind is even better for the part, learn how to do justice to the character that has been given to you. Like I said, collaborate. Your reactions will always be more enhanced if your actors give you the right cues. So be that kind of actor to your co-stars as well. You guys are born at such a lucky time, because there's so much stuff available at your disposal, whether it's videos on YouTube or it's your social media platforms. There are so many options available to you to keep learning even while you're at home. So watch as many YouTube videos as you can. Try and read actor diaries. Watch videos of directors talking of masterclasses, because you learn a lot from directors. And lastly, if you are someone who's allowed to be on social media, then you have so many platforms that give you an opportunity to try your acting skills. So use that. You don't have to be an active user. You can keep a private account, but use what's being given to you to sort of mold yourself as an actor. And I think all I can tell you is that if this is something that has intrigued you and you're interested in doing it, and if you do end up pursuing it as a career, I can tell you that it is one of the best jobs in the world. It truly is. It's very gratifying. It's very, very, very fulfilling. And it's amazing that you can, take people on journeys with you through the parts that you play. And you can make people love fictional characters because of the life that you put into them. So I hope that whatever information I've given you has given you some insight, some sort of knowledge, and good luck. And I hope you enjoy this journey as a performer. It is, like I said, it's the best job in the world. Thank you.